Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, time for another Metal Earth build, another from the Harry Potter universe. Today I have Gringott's dragon, which looks to be a very interesting build. There's another dragon that I've been eyeing that I would like to eventually get and put together. Haven't gotten there yet, but this looks like it'll be a decent tide over until that time. Let us open this up, see how difficult it's going to be, and make a dragon. Gringott's dragon. I'm a little bit excited. I've been wanting to build the dragon. Looks like I'm starting here. Inside we have two very shiny metal sheets. No big shock there. Doesn't look like a lot of parts. I've said that sort of thing before. I'm not going to say it looks simple. I'm not going to say it. Two pieces of paper for the instructions. Let us open up the one that says Harry Potter. Me and my bad accents. Open. There's the inside. Here's the front. Flatten it out a bit. At the top we have Harry Potter, Metal Earth, 3D metal model, Gringott's dragon, little line drawing, a 360 view, the QR code, and the web address where you could go online and see this. Look around it if you have any questions or want to have trouble how something fits. You can go on there and see what they did. The usual little box here about insertion tabs, fold line, and insertion holes. The needle nose pliers are helpful for assembling. We have the older part of the legend. When you see the blue circle at a connection point in the instructions, it's referring to inserting a tab and bending it over 90 degrees. The green triangle is telling you to insert and twist the tab 90 degrees. And if you pull and screw metal tab 90 degrees to tighten, so that when you pull on it and twist it, it can make it a tighter connection. The newer part of the legend, you have an E, which points at the engraved side of the model. NE points at the non-engraved side, and I found that that's not always as clear as maybe they think it is. And then the attention point, this is something that you need to pay attention to. It may not always say what. It may be pointing at a tab or a slot, because sometimes there's slots near each other and you got to use the right one. Sometimes it's trying to take you to line up certain things. Sometimes it'll actually be an explanation as to what to pay attention to. And at the bottom we have our metal sheets. This one and this one. It's got all the part numbers listed, so you can see the parts in the sheet. And this seems to be new to me. I've not noticed this before. Some of the numbers are red and some of them are black, and nothing on here is colored in, so that's interesting. I wonder what that means. It looks like the red numbers are pointing at parts that have a number, so that's very odd. Like here's two 4s. One 4 is pointing at this part, which looks like part of the back or the scale on it, and it has the number 4 written on there, and it has it here. But this number 4 is pointing at this part, which does not have a number. So one that has a number. Is there another 1? Yeah, there's another 1 that's pointing at the back of it, back fins. Very interesting. 2, red is pointing at a 2. We have another 2. Yes, we do. So they've changed things up. There's more parts than there are numbers. There's the red number and the black number. That's new. If we move over to page 2, to the start of the assembly flowchart, starting off with the black part 1, pointing at the engraved side, the black part 2, pointing at the engraved side, 3. Now we have the red one, and you just follow the arrows and find the number of the part, find out which color, if it's black or red, and just continue on. Get to the bottom, flip it over, page 3, and continue to follow the numbers and arrows as best you can, black and red. Over to page 4, follow the arrows. Just keep following the arrows and folding and shaping as it says. Get to the bottom of that. Of course, you go to the next sheet. You open up to the inside for Page 5 and 6. 5, more shaping and assembly. 6, keep following the arrows, flip to the back. 7, getting really close, we're putting on wings. 8, we're putting a base and attaching them to the base, and you are done. Let's talk tools. I have a pretty standard set of tools that I use in most every build. I have needle nose pliers, I have flat nose pliers, I have flush clippers. These are a must for me. They clip parts off the sheets quickly and cleanly. I have a set of precision tweezers, one with a very pointed end, one with the pointed end ground down slightly, and flat set with a sort of curved tip, useful for twisting tabs in slightly curved areas. I also have a pretty standard set of tweezers with a flat angled end. These come in one of the Iconics kits, and I use them a lot. When it comes to shaping rounded parts, there are many options. I used dowel rods for a long time. I sharpened the ends of 2 of them with a pencil sharpener. These 2 are great for making cone shapes. Another option is a cheap drill bit set. This set has quite a few different sizes to choose from. Another option is a set of step mandrels. Ring pliers or round nose pliers can be found with jewelry making tools and work wonderfully for curving delicate and or hard to get to areas. We've peeked at the directions. We have our sheets. Got some tools to get started. Let's put this together. Right from the start, the instructions are trying to throw me off. It gives the engraved side of part 1 and 2, but I cannot see any engraving on either side of either part. Be sure to point the center tab underneath towards the back and don't do like I did with red part 1. The red numbered parts that go on the underside are a challenge. You're going to have to figure out what works best for you. Trying to get the 4 side tabs and the center tab lined up at the same time takes some careful work of the metal. Otherwise, you will need to get 2 tabs on one side lined up and secured, then the center tab, then the other 2 tabs on the other side. I found that different ones took different methods to make it work. I found it helpful, especially for larger sections, to bend the tabs outward slightly so that they were easier to line up with the slots. Red Part 7 did not want to cooperate and was one of the toughest red parts to put on because of its angled fit. I should not have closed up Part 5 just yet, not until after attaching it to Part 6. At some point, I got mixed up with the directions and was trying to put parts 4 and 5 the wrong way together and not align them correctly. He caused me undue grief and a lot of wasted time. With the two tabs under the feet, I bent the tabs inward just a little, then pinched the two tabs together to bend them down flat. This video has been edited down. I've not shown all the different attempts, adjustments, or retries of this build. I also clip out parts where I am studying directions, searching for and clipping parts, and sometimes repetitive steps. It may make this kit look like it comes together easier than it did, but there are a lot of bending and adjusting of parts to make things fit. Work slowly, be patient, and take your time. Two of the side tabs came out while I was trying to fit the center tab in place, and now I have to pry things open to get them back in. It was at this point I decided to try a new tool. I picked up some sculpting tools to see if they would be useful, and here they were. I pulled my usual trick and twisted a few tabs I was supposed to bend to hold things together until more of the pieces were attached, and then went back, untwisted, and bent over the tabs. The two side tabs bend at a little bit of an angle. I present to you another rather large Harry Potter model, Gringott's dragon. It's not that the model itself is all that big, but it's one of two with a big wingspan. And then you've got the train that's kind of extra long. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun trying to fit these on my normal shelves, but I'll figure out something. Now this build took me about 2.5 hours, and one of the things is I made a couple of fairly stupid mistakes. One of the mistakes was getting the leg parts mixed up, and I kept trying to attach the bottom half of that first leg on the wrong way, and I fought with it and I fought with it. And that was after closing the bottom half of the leg when you should close it around the tabs. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, not being able to get it before I finally hit it. I had actually jumped down to the next section on the page where the next leg was going together and getting it backwards. So it shouldn't have taken 2.5 hours. It should have taken more like 2 hours to put it together. I can't say it enough, not even to myself. Pay attention to the directions, don't get mixed up, look ahead, try and avoid the kind of grief that I gave myself. Without that grief, this was a pretty easy model. I mean, it was a little bit challenging, but not that bad. It would have been a lot more fun for me had I not caused myself those headaches. In the end, after the frustration of messing up myself has died down, I'm really happy with this model. I'm really happy how it came together. It looks wonderful. Big, huge wingspan. Finally built the dragon, so that's really cool. I'm a little concerned that the only thing holding it to the base is 2 little bitty tabs. But I'm not going to play with it. I'm going to go figure out how to stuff this on the shelf and leave it alone. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.